Do you ever think about the fact that healthy habits can actually make us grow closer to God?
It's a question that's kind of, maybe you never thought about that before, because we don't really think of our health as making us grow closer to God. But we have 5 habits, healthy habits, to share with you right now that actually do help us draw closer to God.
And it's like Ruth said, often we don't think about the fact that healthy habits actually can help us grow closer to God because, we spiritualize a lot of things, but for some reason we don't seem to spiritualize our health very much. But if you read through the Bible talks an awful lot about how we are called to treat our minds, bodies, and souls. And so today we came up with a list of 5 healthy habits that make us grow closer to God. And you know what? These are things that you've heard of before. Like, nothing is revolutionary here, but the point is that we have to learn how to be intentional about how we live.
That's right, because the Bible is our manual. It's our blueprint for living a happy, healthy life. And we don't often think of the Bible as our manual. We talk a lot about vehicles, but just like a vehicle comes with its own manual, our life comes with a manual. We just don't think of it like that.
So, and because it doesn't say, Casey, do this.
That's right. But it does have a lot of commands. And we don't often think of the commandments like where it says, trust the Lord. It doesn't say, maybe trust the Lord. It says,
or when you feel like it.
Yeah, or when you feel like it. It says to actually trust in the Lord. So we have to command ourselves to, live out the healthy habits so that we are following the manual, the blueprint for life.
Exactly. So we have come up with a list of 5 healthy habits that actually make us grow closer to God. And we want to talk about all 5 and kind of talk about how that actually can help us grow closer to God, because some of them you might think like, nah, not really. But you know what? They all do.
And especially the first one.
I was going to say, especially the first one, you might not think there's a correlation, but there really, truly is. So why don't you go ahead with the first one?
Okay. The first one is moving your body, movement. Now, that might sound like, well, Ruth, Casey, I don't know how that helps us grow closer to God. But I'm going to tell you, and I'm here to tell you that it does. Because when you go out for a walk, you have a lot of time. If you go for, like, I'm thinking like a 30-minute walk or longer, you have a lot of time to ponder. Because while you're walking, your mind is, we have so many thoughts every single day, your mind is thinking. Okay, so in your movement, you can be talking to God. You can be thinking of good, pleasant things, or you can, you're getting your body movement, which is all about your body functioning well. It's about loving your body.
Enough to take care of it.
Yeah, to take care of it, because our bodies need to move. When we think of a child, children just move all the time. And I'm going to say they're fairly healthy. Why? Because they're moving constantly. And
or conversely, if you think about somebody who's bedridden and how, their body starts to break out in sores and they have to get turned, because our bodies are not meant to be sedentary.
No, that's right. That's a really good point. So I'm going to say moving your body every day is very good for your overall health. And when you're out and about, especially if you're looking at things of nature is a great way to draw closer to God, because there's so many lessons to be learned from being outdoors, from just moving your body. Even if you're in a gym, you can move your body and your thoughts can turn to God, and how it's working your muscles. Like, muscles are all related back to God. He strengthens us, and we are called to live out our life as well as we can.
And, if you think about movement, really, I think at the snap of a finger, we just think about movement as for our bodies. But movement is actually part of our body, mind, and our soul, because exercise has been known to be I think there's studies that show that it's as effective, like good exercise is as effective for mental health problems as prescription drugs.
That's right.
And so,
go ahead. When my husband was really ill, we were told to be moving daily, and he had mental health issues, challenges. And it really, really helped his overall health.
And so, like, exercise, as much as it's for our bodies, I think honestly it's even more important for our minds. And it's important for our souls, because like Ruth is talking about, even being out in nature, being outside, you know, having that exertion, it does something to our body. Well, it actually does something in our bodies called neurochemicals. And so it is so important. And it does help us grow closer to God, because we are taking care of our minds, bodies, and souls when we are choosing to move.
And not only that, it's good for our metabolic rate. It's good for our heart, gets our heart rate pumping. You know, there's so many benefits to walking.
And here's what we're saying.
Movement.
We're not saying that you have to go to the gym for like an hour and a half every day.
No, not at all.
We don't do that. What we are saying is that start where you're at, right? You can't expect yourself to go run a 10-kilometer marathon if you can't even walk up and down a flight of stairs. You got to start where you're at. But moving is important. And it doesn't matter where you're starting, start.
Okay, that's number one, movement.
Okay, number two is gratitude. And again, this is not something that's that terribly revolutionary. You've heard this before. But the reason you've heard it before is because it's important. The reason you've heard it before, the reason there's lots of articles written about it, the reason that people talk about it is because when we practice gratitude, it changes the composition in our minds.
Your whole life changes if you just implement this one thing. And it doesn't have to take long. It can start your day off right, and your whole day can just totally be a better day.
In fact, start small with all of these things. Start small, because you're more likely to do it if you give yourself a realistic goal to start with, right?
That's right. Like, I like to write down a whole bunch of things I'm grateful for, but don't tell yourself you're going to start with 20 or 50. Tell yourself you're going to write one down.
Yeah. We often with that talk about the example of a push-up, okay? And this is back to movement, but the concept is good for anything that you are thinking about, right? If you want to start doing push-ups, but you can't even currently do one push-up on your knees, then don't set yourself a goal that you're going to do 10 push-ups tomorrow, because you won't even get down on the floor and try, because you know you can't do it. If you tell yourself that you're going to start tomorrow by doing one push-up on your knees, the chances of you actually getting down to go do it go through the roof, because there's a belief system up here that goes, yep, I can do that. And then you'll probably even try 2 or 3. And so you'll blow that goal right out of the water, which makes you believe in yourself that much more, because you've accomplished what you set out to accomplish. So the same thing with gratitude applies, right? I think so many of us have this idea in our head that we're going to be these beautiful journalers who write pages every day of what happened, but write down one sentence. Write down one thing you're grateful for.
And that's going to change your life. It will totally change your life. You know, another thing you can do, you know, writing it down is the best. But even if you don't write it down, if you get up and when your feet hit the floor, you say, thank you, God, for a new day, or thank you, God, for new mercies, or I love my life. I love that one, because that's what I do. But, you know, it just turns your day around and it makes you smile. You might not feel in that moment that you love your life, but it is doing something up here to your mind. So just do it.
In fact, I'm laughing because when I got up this morning, I was really grouchy. Oh dear, I was grouchy. I did not get enough sleep. So I went back to bed. And then I woke up and I said, I love my life. And you know what? It's been a good day. So
so you see how it can just change your whole day. Just one gratitude. Exactly. And pretty soon you'll be saying more.
Yeah. So movement, gratitude. Number 3, we've got eat something fresh, also known as nourish your body well.
Yeah. And so I want to talk a little bit about eating something fresh. You know, eating something fresh means not something processed. Okay. Fresh is best. Now, I'm saying have a fruit or have a vegetable that is actually in its original form. It's called a clean food. It's when it hasn't been processed. It's something fresh that our body actually craves. And the more fresh or close to fresh that you eat, the more you crave those things. Like if I haven't had fresh fruit in a long time, my body just craves it. Or fresh vegetables. I know the other day you said, oh, I'm craving something fresh. And we took out some fresh snap peas or snow peas. An
It
apple
just
a day
tastes
keeps
good.
the doctor away. We all
Yep.
know that that's an old cliche, but apples every day, actually, there's something in an apple that is actually really beneficial to your body.
Mhm.
So eat something fresh every single day.
And I'm here to tell you, you've probably heard me say this before too. It is just as easy to open a bag of snap peas or take an apple out of the fridge as it is to open a chocolate bar or a bag of chips.
That's right. And I'm going to say her little daughter, who is 3-ish, I just gave her, I peeled a carrot. She wanted a carrot. I peeled a carrot for her and she munched on the carrot. Then she had raisins. She craves something fresh, okay? Fruit. She had an apple. She's just craving the good raw fruits that are the clean, healthy foods that are going to nourish your body.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So number 4, do something every day that blesses someone else. That's number 4.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So this is a really important thing, because what this is doing is using your gifts, because you and I have talents and gifts, but we have spiritual gifts that come from God. We need to bless other people every day.
Mm-hmm. And the cool thing that we all know is that when we bless someone else, we're the ones who walk away blessed.
That's right.
Right? We're the ones who walk away like
more satisfied.
Yeah, with a joy that comes from serving other people. And yeah, so, I don't know if we need to go into super detail about why that brings us closer to God, but it's because, like you said, we have gifts that we're called to use. We're called to bless other people. We're called to love other people. And we can do that by using the gifts that God's given us. And that can look like a wide variety of things, right? That could look like buying somebody coffee in a drive-through that's behind you. That could look like making a meal for somebody in need. That could look like smiling at a stranger when you walk by them.
That's right. It could be giving someone a compliment. It could be going to your neighbor and asking if everything's okay. I know we just had, a scary thing in where we live. Our neighbors just had the ambulance at their house, and it was just really important to go out and say, do you need anything? We're here for you. That blesses someone else, because they know that we care. Mm-hmm. That's all it takes, is maybe phoning a friend, maybe, reaching out to your family.
Yeah.
It can be anything.
Text a picture to somebody of something that will make them smile. It does not have to be expensive, time consuming. It doesn't have to be any of those things, right?
No, that's right.
Yeah.
And you will be blessing someone else. Mm-hmm. And you're going to feel in your heart that you did something that makes you just know that with God in the journey, you're closer to God. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's do a quick recap. Movement, gratitude, eating something fresh every day, blessing someone else, and number 5, pray. This is a habit. And you know what? I recently downloaded, I don't even know what you'd call it, like a 30-day kind of planner that has specific things to pray. This one is specific for your husband, but it's something to pray specifically for your husband or your partner about every day for 30 days. And I got to tell you, that's a really cool way to do it, because sometimes I think we just get lost in not even knowing what to pray for somebody.
That's right.
But when we can pray specifically for someone else about something else or about something specific, you know what? That's important.
And I'm going to say prayer is definitely going to draw you closer to God. And we're saying, there's so many aspects of prayer. We can pray for our own needs, but when we pray for someone else, it takes our attention off of us, which is another whole aspect of health. When we're not focused on just ourselves, because yes, we have to take care of ourselves, but it's really good for our minds to take our prayers off of just ourselves and onto someone else, so that we can know and let people know that we're praying for them.
Yeah, exactly. And I think along with praying, we would probably add number 6, read the Bible. That will also bring you closer to God. We didn't include that on our list because we were keeping it at 5, but I mean, that's a very, very big one too.
That's right. And there's many more to the list that we could add, but we're going with 5 today. So again, number 1 is movement. Number 2 is gratitude. Number 3 is eat something fresh that nourishes your body. Number 4, do something every day that blesses someone else. And number 5, prayer. Mm-hmm. Wow. That's a list that's going to change your life. If you just implement those 5 healthy habits into your everyday living.
And, you know, we've been talking a lot lately about how healthy habits actually impact like everything else in our life, including our confidence, including our ability to live on purpose, which we call living on purpose, having confidence in who God made you to be, and then using the gifts that he gave you to bless other people. And so healthy habits actually create confidence in us because A, we're living in alignment with what the Bible is asking us to do. And B, creating healthy habits, like you feel good about yourself when you're taking good care of yourself, right? Like it just is. I don't know about you, when I wake up in the morning and, you know, do my hair and get dressed and, you know, don't sit in my PJs all day, I feel a lot better about myself. It makes me feel more confident.
And if you're doing something for someone else, it makes you feel good inside. And no one else can give you that joy.
Exactly. 5 healthy habits added to my days ahead. Woohoo! That's awesome. And you know what? We have to just start simple, right? It's like I was saying before, we have to start where we're at and then build new habits, because how does it go? A habit has to be established before it can be improved. Okay, so we have to start the habit before we can make it better. Before we can write 20 gratitude statements, we have to start with 1, and we have to make 1 a habit, and then 2, and then 3, and then we can improve what we're doing.
And we know that habits just don't happen. You have to be intentional about your habits. So be intentional with 1, and pretty soon you're going to have more. Be intentional with moving your body 10 minutes, and pretty soon you're going to do more, because it's just a healthy thing that you want to keep improving.
And I actually just want to add one more thing that I found really interesting lately, and I want to
thank you.
I want to read and study more about this, but it's called habit stacking, and I believe this is from James Clear, who's the author of Atomic Habits, which is a really fantastic book. He talks about habit stacking and how it's easier to add a new habit onto, like stack it onto an already existing habit. So like if you're going to add gratitude into your morning routine, then add it on right on top of after you brush your teeth, because that's already an established habit that you have. So stack it on top, because the chances of you doing it like on top of an already existing habit just increases the likelihood that you will keep doing it. So like as you're brushing your teeth, maybe you're saying your gratitude statements and you're, you know, making a mess of your bathroom sink, but there's this whole concept of adding it to an already established habit will improve your chances of, you know, creating these other new habits. So give that a try.
Yeah, that's a great tip. So if you haven't done that before, stack your habits. Okay, that's a great takeaway for today. So we are just thankful that you're here with us. Start implementing, be intentional. And we all know that habits don't happen like that. We have to practice our habits daily. So I think that's about it. Yeah, habit stacking. That's right.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, isn't it? Yeah.
Okay, I think that's all for today.
So hopefully you go and implement these 5 habits, and then you know what? You'll be growing closer to God.
That's right. And in fact, if you want to, you can start right now. You don't have to do it first thing in the morning. Do it now, and you'll be glad you did.
Exactly.
Go bless someone else.
And we did put also, lots of you have already registered, but we put the link in for our upcoming Revive workshop. It starts on June 6th, so less than a month. So the link is in the description. We just can't wait to see you all there. It's going to be great.
And we're asking you to share, and share. Thanks so much. Love you.
Bye.